What's up, everybody? You are tuned in to the Cris Style
And Mal.
podcast, episode 51. Hope everybody's having a good day. Big energy Monday as usual. We got a lot to talk about, a lot to get into. Super Bowl week,
Mm-hmm.
some
Mm-hmm.
other things going on this week. So let's talk about it and let's get into it. And we are back, Cris Style and Mal podcast, episode 51, Big Energy Monday.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on, Ma? How you feeling, man?
Oh man, I'm good, bro. Big week ahead of us. You know what I mean? We've been kind of all anticipating this big week. Pretty gloomy outside, you know what I mean? But I'm sure it'll get better as the week goes on. But I'm in good spirits, brother. How you doing?
I'm pretty good, man.
Pretty
Excited.
good, man. You should be
Excited,
you should
man.
be excited, bro.
Excited,
Your
man.
energy should be on the 10 today, brother.
I'm,
Come
you
on,
know,
man. Come on,
I
bro.
got all week. I got
Yeah,
all
it's
week.
the first ever Super Bowl in Vegas, and your team fucking makes it to the goddamn Super
I got
Bowl, bro. You
all
should
week.
be on a 10.
I got all week, baby. You know what I'm saying? I got all week.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
be hyped up tonight because I'm going to opening night. So you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, 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 yeah.
So
Fortunately, I won't be able to make it, but
it's all good. It's all good.
um. So you want this week to go by slow? You want this week to go by fast? You want to get
I
to
want to
Sunday right
fast.
now?
I
You
want
want
to
to get
get
to
to
Sunday
Sunday,
right
man.
now? Okay,
But at
okay.
the end of the day, it's about football, baby, and it's about the game.
Yeah.
And see Usher too, but it's about the game. You know what I'm saying?
So what are you most interested in seeing tonight when you go to the opening ceremony? What are you interested in seeing?
Not just some of the players. You know what I'm saying? Gets I've seen Patrick Mahomes in person, but get
Hmm.
to see him a little bit more up close without the helmet on. Get to see the
Hmm.
players without their helmet on, up close and personal. So
Is it like assigned seating or is it like you can sit anywhere type of thing? Like what
I
is it?
don't even know if it's sitting. I
Okay,
just think
okay.
it might just be standing. I don't know. I don't know how when I get up there, I'll see. But
Because
because
it's at Allegiant, right? It's
yeah,
inside Allegiant. Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay.
because it didn't really have no seat. It's like
I mean, it's probably like somewhere you could, because I see videos of the inside. I guess they're getting ready for the opening ceremony. It looks like you could probably sit anywhere.
yeah,
So I think
okay,
it might
yeah,
be first come first serve type of deal. Because it
yeah.
seems like they got a lot of stuff on the field going on. So
Oh yeah, yeah. Because I know in the lineup it says at from 4 to 5, it's a DJ and all that stuff.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
it's probably like the festivities and all that stuff. Probably got
Mm-hmm.
food and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And then at 5, that's when they announce the teams. Kansas City Chiefs. They at like 6, they announce all the Chiefs, and then they do all their introductories, and then they do the media stuff, and then the San Francisco goes after that. And then they
Okay,
do
okay, okay.
the whole, they have the group session where
Yeah, yeah.
they'll have Patrick Mahomes and Brock Purdy talking, or
Right,
whatever.
right.
So
Are you
that's
going to
it.
stay through the whole time or just the Chiefs? You just want to see
No,
the
I'll
Chiefs?
probably stay through those. I'm gonna get the whole experience, man.
Okay, okay, for sure, for sure, for
Okay.
sure. Well, I'm excited for you, brother.
Yeah, should be a good time, brother. Should be a good time. But speaking of the Super Bowl, man, I wanted to get my top 5 storylines going into the Super Bowl.
Hmm.
So I want us to speak on these. So go ahead and bring that up. And the first one I'm gonna say Kyle Shanahan getting over the hump of finally getting a Super Bowl. When he was the OC in Atlanta, he came this close to getting one over New England. Well, we all know how that went down. And in
Hmm.
2019, he faces the Chiefs. He was up, what, 10 points in the
Yeah.
fourth quarter with like 7 minutes left.
Hmm.
And we all know how that went. Chiefs end up coming back. Lost that one. And then Kyle Shanahan has kind of been plagued with injuries with the quarterback position and, going through, Jimmy G and his woes. And then the Trey Lance situation didn't go as planned. And then he gets Brock Purdy, who, looks like, he's a solid quarterback who can take this offense to the heights that Kyle Shanahan needs it to take it to. And they get all the way to the NFC Championship last year, and he gets hurt. And it
Mhm.
was just like all that hard work just crumbles, because your quarterback's done. And then we all know how that goes. Eagles end up going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And now here we go this year, a full, healthy Brock Purdy. They had their ups and downs this season. At first, it looked like nobody could beat San Francisco. And
Hmm.
then they went into the little middle part of the season where it was like, okay, hold on, let's pump the brakes. Maybe they are beatable. And then they started going on a winning streak. And then they went against Baltimore and
Hmm.
they got shellacked against Baltimore. And it was kind of like, oh, okay, maybe they're the second best team in the league. And, they had their woes in the playoff games. The game against Green Bay, they probably should have lost. The
Yeah.
game against Detroit, they probably should have lost. But at the end of the day, we played 4 quarters. They found a way to put it all together and win the games. And here we are in the Super Bowl. So I'm asking you, what does it mean for Kyle Shanahan to get over this hump? Does it put him in a different place? Does it, as far as the younger coaches, the Sean McVays, those guys, does it put him in the space with Sean McVay? Do you feel like he's already there? How do you feel?
No, I think it definitely puts him in the light of Sean McVay. He's one of the better coaches without a ring. He's had many opportunities to get a ring. He's came
Mhm,
close, but unfortunately, one of the times was against your Chiefs. You know what I mean? Like,
mhm,
there were one Emmanuel Sanders catch away from winning that game. So, and they played a really good game for the most part, man. It was kind of a back and forth game. It's kind of the same how I view this game is going to go. If
mhm,
Kyle Shanahan gets this win over Patrick Mahomes with a Brock Purdy, it could solidify him as definitely up there with one of the great coaches out there in the league today. You know what I mean? I think we talked about it a little bit in the last pod. We kind of like discussed, Sean McVay's, Andy Reid's, and all that. And his name is up there as far as like
mhm.
one of the top 3 coaches in the league right now, especially with the likes of Belichick out, Vrabel's not coaching, Pete Carroll's not coaching right now. So it'll be huge. It'll be huge for him. It's going to be a big task though, especially how they've started out slow, but I think in the second half they've been clicking. It
Mhm.
seems like they gotten over the hump of them being down going into the fourth quarter, second half, where they had issues coming back. It seems like they look like they finally got over that hump in a sense, but against this Chiefs team, they're gonna need to start a little bit faster. They're gonna be they need to be able to control this game.
Mhm.
If they can suck the life out of these Chiefs, it's gonna be hard, especially with that defense. That's something that you need to do.
Mhm.
You need to put the king down. You know what I mean? If we're gonna go
Mhm.
into this, little nice and kings type of talk, Chiefs are the king. They're sitting at the throne. Like if anybody's watched Game of Thrones, man, it's cutthroat. So they got to go for it. I think Kyle Shanahan shouldn't hold anything back. There's been a
Mhm.
couple Super Bowls where you feel like, it seems like I don't know if it's a nervous moment for him as well, but it seems like his play calling is always a little bit different in the Super Bowls where people kind of look at him like, you know what I mean? You had the whole situation with the Falcons against the Patriots where that play calling kind of like it felt like they took their foot off the gas when they were in complete control of that game as well. You know what I mean? So
Right.
um, it's going to be huge for him. It's going to be huge. It's going to be a big daunting task. But if they can get over it, man, it'll be huge for his career and his historical placement, I guess, amongst the one of the top coaches in the league.
Yeah, I agree. He'll definitely do something for his legacy as far as being one of the newer coaches and finally cracking that thing. Andy Reid for the longest, when he was with the Eagles, he was going to for what he went to
Right.
5 straight
Hmm.
AFC NFC championship games, but he could never. And he even went to the Super Bowl and lost to New England,
Hmm.
but he could never get over that hump. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? For whatever reason, and then when he comes to the AFC side, even with Alex Smith, he was going to the playoffs,
Yeah.
but they still couldn't get over that hump until he finally got his quarterback that he
Hmm.
needed, the
Yeah.
franchise quarterback. And with Kyle, it's a little different because it's unlike most situations. Most situations, everybody's looking for that franchise quarterback. And I'm not saying Brock Purdy can't end up being that guy. He
No.
could
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
well.
No,
be
yeah.
a franchise quarterback and get
Hmm.
boatloads of money in a few years now.
Hmm.
But as of right now, we don't look at him per se as a franchise per se quarterback. We look at him as he's a good quarterback, and so far so good. But if Kyle can do get over this hump and beat this Chiefs team, then that will definitely put him up there as far as one of the top five coaches. If people don't already have him there, he'll definitely step his foot up and is being the top five coaches in this league right now. So
And you also got to look at it as if he could finally get over the hump, what could that potentially do for his confidence going into other years? You know what I mean?
mhm.
It's kind of like the same with Andy Reid. Like Andy Reid, yeah, obviously he does have Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes is like one of the greatest quarterbacks. Like the thing with Andy Reid, he's had a lot of really good quarterbacks.
Mhm.
I would take Donovan McNabb over anything Kyle Shanahan has had. I would
Yeah.
obviously take Patrick Mahomes over anything
Mhm.
Shanahan has had. Even Alex Smith to a degree. Alex Smith wasn't a bad quarterback. He had a
No.
bad injury that kind of caused his career to go down. But overall, he was a consistent quarterback.
Mhm.
Would you take an Alex Smith over a Brock Purdy? Would you take an Alex Smith over a Jimmy Garoppolo?
Yeah.
Right now, I would definitely take it over Garoppolo.
Yeah.
Purdy is a wait and
Yeah.
see
Yeah. Yeah.
thing. But Alex Smith was the number one draft pick, if I believe I'm
It
correct. You know
was.
what I
It
mean?
was.
So
It was. He was in the
if
same draft as Aaron Rodgers.
yeah, so Kyle Shanahan being able to stay consistently winning in a division that's really tough, Seahawks, Rams, in a conference that I don't think it's easy at all. You know, what I mean, they've had some really good teams in that conference, i.e. the Cowboys, i.e. the Eagles, and so on, Saints and stuff like that.
Mhm.
If he could finally win with Brock Purdy, a quarterback that was picked dead last in the draft, who knows what that could do for his confidence going forward, you know what I mean, and how the 49ers may project over the next couple of years. You know what I mean, maybe they start going on a little run and being consistently in the Super Bowl, and being that kind of like um Super Bowl rivalry with Mahomes. Mahomes
Mhm.
ain't going nowhere, but obviously that AFC is gonna look a lot tougher next year as we keep going. You gotta kind of look at that too, man. I think this is a big moment for the 49ers organization, because if they win, it could swing them in the pendulum of just being, maybe go on kind of like a maybe a little bit of a run going to the Super Bowl, maybe winning a couple championships. If they lose, it's pretty much they got to figure it out, man, because a lot of these players that they have, they are getting older. They got to figure out what they want to do with Brock Purdy. If they want to sign him long term, obviously that's going to cut into the cap. No matter what number you give him, like, yeah, you may not be giving him Mahomes numbers, but you're still going to have to give him close to $40 million a year. That's going to cut
Yeah.
some into the cap to the point where you're not going to have the same type of depth that you're going to have across the board that the Niners do. That's the luxury that they have that most teams do not have right now. They're not paying a quarterback, so they can double up on the linemen, they can double up on triple up on the receivers, running backs, linebackers, and cornerbacks, and D linemen and stuff like that. So it's going to be a huge weekend for the 49ers organization for me.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. The second storyline I would say is Chiefs going back to back, solidifying being a dynasty. They've been talked about. It's people are I would say half and half when it comes to the dynasty talk with the Chiefs. They've been to five, well, what, yeah, six straight AFC Championship games, but they've been ever since Mahomes has been
They've
the
been out of
starter.
what, 4 out of 5 Super Bowls or something like
Yeah,
that.
so people are asking, are they a dynasty? I believe they do need to get this one to consider themselves a dynasty. Um, that just having three Super Bowls is just it just kind of it's a rare air. Not a lot of teams have three Super Bowl titles.
Mhm.
So you're talking about yourself and the Dallas Cowboys of the '90s. You're talking about the San Francisco 49ers. You're talking about the New England Patriot type deal. Um, the New England Patriots of 03, 04 was the last back to back Super Bowl champion. So, if they win this one, they'll definitely put themselves, in a different space as far as, all time, team structure, organization in this era of time. So,
Mhm. Um, in some ways, I think the Chiefs are already currently in a dynasty run.
mhm.
It's hard doing what they even accomplished. Getting
Yeah.
to five straight AFC Championship games. I think they won what four out of five. I think the
Mm-hmm.
only one they lost was the one against
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Oh, in
they,
New England. New England. We
and New
lost the
England, they
first
lost the one to New England.
one. Yeah.
Um, I do apologize to that. Super Bowls, they've gotten to 4 out of 5 Super Bowls. They won two out of the five, 2 out of the 4. Um, so if they do win, like yeah, I think it just solidifies them even being up there with one of the greatest dynasties. I don't know where you would rank this Chiefs dynasty amongst the greats.
Mm-hmm.
The Cowboys, the old school Niners, Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Obviously the Patriots run.
Right.
Obviously you would. I think that would be the next talk where you would rank this dynasty run. Obviously, it could still continue going on. Mahomes ain't going anywhere anytime
Right.
soon.
Right.
But overall, man, I think people got to be impressed. As much as we are rivals, man, I truly wish we could be in the position that you guys are in. I would love to know what it what it feels like to be in the position that you guys are in. Just the
Right.
confidence, like I talk mess about kind of like the cockiness that you kind of have when we kind of talk. And you can say you don't, but you do. You do. I know a lot of Chiefs fans they do. We all know where you guys were before Mahomes. You guys are right
Yeah.
there with us,
Yeah.
struggling like a mother.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
Exactly.
what one player and obviously coach have done to
Mm-hmm.
transition. I think it starts with the coach. Andy Reid kind of transitioned what
Yeah, he
what the,
did.
what,
He
the,
did.
what this organization was about. And then obviously Mahomes kind of took them over the hump and took them
Mm-hmm.
into the atmosphere that we haven't seen so quick.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, I truly admire and hopefully we can get to that point one day, man. So I'm gonna say this, man. Enjoy it. This shit don't
Yeah.
last forever, man. So all you
Marty.
Chiefs fans, enjoy it, man. I don't know how long it's gonna last. I said Mahomes ain't going nowhere anytime soon, but crazy things have happened in the
Yeah.
NFL, man. And
Yeah.
just enjoy it, man. I'm gonna take the hate out of me. I'm just gonna be honest. Just enjoy it,
Yeah.
dog. Just
Yeah.
enjoy it.
Right. No, for sure. For sure. The third storyline I was gonna say, Brock Purdy solidified himself as a franchise quarterback. If
Yeah.
he goes out here and he balls, even I would say this, even in a loss, let's say it's a back and forth. You know what I'm saying? And Brock Purdy puts up big numbers, 400 yards, 5 touchdowns, whatever. I think that he could put himself in a space where it's like, well, he played great. He just Mahomes just had the ball last type deal. You know what I'm saying? So that could solidify him, and then next year you'd be like, well, we got something here with Brock Purdy. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
He's at least a top 10 quarterback that we can do something with. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? We could possibly pay this kid, and not have to worry about the quarterback position. For a while. So I think this game is big for him and that it could take him to a step where we're not talking about is he a game manager, game changer, all that stuff. If he goes out there and puts together a great game, win or lose, I think that he could solidify himself as a franchise quarterback. And I do think that the 49ers will probably happily pay him. You know what I'm saying? Because they ain't got to break too much of it. Yeah, you're right. They had to dip in the cap a little bit, but they ain't got to break the bank for him. I think they can
No.
give him Daniel Jones type deal and be
Mhm.
fine. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So
No, no. I agree with you. If Brock Purdy has like kind of like a Jalen game, like what Jalen Hurts had last year, and it was just like Mahomes can does some crazy stuff. It's like 40 seconds left. They just come back and win the game type of thing. Yeah, I think Brock Purdy shouldn't be at fault for that. I think it could solidify him as being a legit starting franchise quarterback. Obviously you're always going to have the naysayers with Brock Purdy. I think he, in some sense, I agree with you. In some sense, I do think he still needs to win a Super Bowl. I'm more on your side though. If he does have like a great game, like I said before, I think they should definitely like, obviously the bank wouldn't be as big as if he won the Super Bowl. So,
mhm.
but overall, man, it's a great platform for Brock Purdy. Um, I think there are some advantages that he could have. I think he's going to need to use his legs against this defense to kind of open up lanes for Christian McCaffrey. I think, obviously, I think the Chiefs are really going to focus on Christian McCaffrey in this game, and I think it's going to take some Brock Purdy legs, man, to try to get the Niners a win. So, if the Niners do win, I think it might come down to Purdy. So, you know,
Mhm.
um, it's going to be a big spotlight for him, man. And we'll see what happens. But yeah, if he can do really good, I think he'll have a really good shot at getting paid for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And fourth storyline I would say is Patrick Mahomes putting himself in the GOAT conversation. Now people are already talking to about him in that light, you know what I'm saying? But I will say if he has 3 Super Bowl rings, I think it'll be a little bit more closer to him talking to him and the Montanas and the Brady's. You never go. He's never. I'm not gonna say never, but I don't think he'll ever get to 7 Super Bowls. That's just difficult to do. But if he can, you know what I'm saying, get 2 more, rings, maybe you can have that conversation of him, being better than Brady or, you know what I'm saying, catching Brady, being on the same level as Brady, 1A, 1B type deal. Um, but I think the conversation will be had if he wins 3 Super Bowl wins in the 6 years that he started. That'll be something, a feat that's, a lot of quarterbacks just don't do, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I think he will be solidified because there's still people on the fence trying to put him in that conversation. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has their list of top all time, quarterbacks of all time. But I think if he gets 3 wings, I think that will put him step closer to the Montanas and the Brady's.
Yeah, I think right now I think people need to chill out on the GOAT conversation right now. I think it's very disrespectful to Tom Brady. Tom Brady has won 7. He was consistent for 20 years, and on
Yeah.
top of that, he beat Mahomes every time.
Mhm.
In a Super Bowl, in an AFC Championship game, that's one thing Mahomes will never get out of this is a win
Mhm.
against Brady. It's not going to
Yeah.
happen. So, but if Mahomes does win this Super Bowl, I think it does put him in the same light as it puts him in the neighborhood. Like he can purchase a house. He can start looking to purchasing a house in the same neighborhood, same block as a, a Brady and Montana.
Mhm.
So he's gonna obviously this is not gonna be his last opportunity. He's gonna have plenty of more opportunities. It's not like he's gonna miss the playoffs anytime soon. But we'll see, man. I think people do need to chill on the GOAT talk just a little bit, a lot of it, honestly. Just chill. Mahomes is great, no one's denying it, but
Yeah.
GOAT, nah, let's chill on that for a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's see
Uh,
some more. Let's see some more Super Bowl wins.
Yeah. 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 Most definitely. I hear you. And then the last one. Now, this has really nothing to do with the game itself. It's more so the city of Las Vegas. The last time we had something like big like this was probably All Star Week.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And we all know how that ended.
Yeah.
It didn't end too good. And we haven't had a All Star weekend since then. So I think if Vegas can show, look, we can put on big events like this, and everybody's gonna be safe. Look, you can't monitor everything. Somebody's gonna, some stuff's gonna go down. Wherever you are, you can't tell me that when stuff is in L.A. or in New York or Florida, Miami, whatever, stuff don't go down. Stuff goes down.
Hmm.
But how much of that stuff can you keep under wraps? You know what I'm saying, and make people feel safe when they're, in these type of, week long events and stuff like this. I think the success of this can, catapult Vegas to other things, coming to Vegas, possibly getting another All Star week. You know what I'm saying? So I think that this is huge for Vegas. This is a huge spotlight on Vegas, and they've been trying to make Vegas one of the major. I think it is one of the major cities now, but especially with all the sports teams that are coming here and that are already here. Championships have been won in hockey and in WNBA.
Hmm.
So I think that this spotlight on this this week on this city could do big dividends for the future of Vegas when it comes to sports and everything going on forward.
No, I agree. I think a lot of people like to bring up the All Star Weekend as a disaster. I think it was more of a learning experience for Vegas. That was the really true first ever big get everybody from all over the country to come to Vegas. I think the city of Las Vegas didn't really plan for that well. I don't think casinos planned for it that well. Um, Obviously our traffic our traffic persons did not control that well.
Mm,
So it made for a lot of learning curves. I think with the growth of Vegas, we had the F1s, we've had summer leagues. Summer league is growing. We've had big boxing events and stuff like that, and obviously it's nothing like compared to a Super Bowl. But I think Vegas will do well. We have a lot of great things going on with Vegas. Obviously, I agree with you. I think obviously like crime and stuff like that, you really can't control any of that. That's out of our control. But I think Vegas will be safe. I think Vegas will be fun. There's a lot of events going on. It's not going to be dull. It's not like them going to like Minnesota. No offense to Minnesota, you know what I mean. But Vegas is Vegas, man. It's a party destination. It's a lot of things going on. We got concerts going on. We got a hockey game going on. We got a fight on Thursday. You got the NFL honors on Saturday. That's not including the club events and everything that's just going on. The city's just going to be very, very podcast. It's just going to be a very, very vibrant thing, man. I think a lot of people have been looking forward to coming out to Vegas for this Super Bowl. I think this is just one of many. I think corporations have just been itching to get something like this big. I think even the NFL low key has just been itching to come to Vegas. I think they've seen the growth 10 years ago. They just had to play it down with, especially with all the gambling. But now with gambling be so universally accepted, you know what I mean, in all states. Like, now we went from Vegas was the only place to gamble to now you got, DraftKings and all that other type of stuff that you can just download and start placing bets now that, Vegas is becoming the hub of sports. So I'm excited for Vegas. I think this is going to be great for our city. It's going to be great for the growth of our city. And this is just going to be one of many Super Bowls that's going to come here to the city. So I'm excited for everybody that's really grown up. I remember the times where the strip wasn't as popping as it was. You know what I'm saying? So we went from that to I never believed we were going to have a professional team to now we got a world champion hockey team. We got a world champion women's basketball team. We actually got an NFL franchise, my franchise of all franchises coming here, which is a dream come true for me. I think we'll eventually get a baseball team and a basketball team. So to have a Super Bowl, man, it's a beautiful thing for the city. And hopefully everybody who's grown up in Vegas enjoys it, man. Go out and enjoy the festivities, man, and enjoy this time, man. So
yeah, for sure. For sure. All right, man. Let's switch it up a little bit. Talk a little WNBA.
yeah.
Well, women's basketball, period.
Mm-hmm.
Talk a little Caitlin Clark. Searle Swoop says that Caitlin Clark, she said her and Angel Reese will struggle in the WNBA, will have their struggles of transitioning to the WNBA. And we had this conversation off camera, and I get it. This is the best of the best, and I'm not sitting here saying that she's gonna come out and score 30 points a game or nothing like that. But I do think that she'll be fine. You know what I'm saying in the WNBA. I think that I get it. She's not the flashiest player, and she's not Juju Watkins or anybody like that. The girl got a shot. You know what I'm saying? She's good at what she does. And I think shooters just translate. You know what I'm saying? At best, you know what I'm saying, she'll be able to shoot her way out of her struggles. So, I think Caitlin Clark will be fine, and I think eventually she will be at the very least an all-star in the WNBA. That's just my opinion. But I get where Cheryl Swoots is coming from. She's a three-time, all-star. She's a three-time champion. She deserves all. Her voice is very perennial in women's basketball. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm always gonna listen to a legend like herself. But you know what I'm saying? I do think Caitlin Clark will be fine in the WNBA, and she'll find her footing if she does struggle a little bit. And the transition will be fine. And I think she'll be an all-star at the very least.
Um, I think I think with Caitlin Clark, I think I'm not saying she won't be good in the WNBA eventually, but I think it's going to be a struggle. I've seen great talent before that has come in from women's college basketball into the WNBA. They struggle, like what I mean. Sabrina Ionescu was Caitlin Clark before Caitlin Clark. Kelsey Plum was Caitlin Clark before Caitlin Clark. And when they both got into the league, they both struggled. it took them time to actually adapt to the WNBA. You got ladies in there that been hooping for years. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? It's different. Like it's not the same. The same as like with college basketball players. It's just not the same. Caitlin Clark is not some freakish athlete. Like she's a great shooter.
Mm-hmm.
But you gotta understand the kind of talent she's going up against. Like that's not going to be the same thing when she goes. She ain't like you think Jackie Young's going to allow her to do all that? You think the other players that are on that team are going to allow her to shoot 25 to 30 times, shoot 40-foot jumpers? Like that's not going to happen. You know, what I mean, the WNBA, like, there's a lot of talented women that don't get to make this league because of how many spots are in this league. They need to grow the sport. As you see, like they're growing with the new San Francisco team. I think they start next year, I think, if not the
Mm-hmm.
year after. So I'm pretty sure everybody's excited with that. I said I'm not saying she's gonna be terrible her whole career, but I think it's gonna be a real struggle the first couple years with her and trying to finally at her trying to adapt to play with other great talent. I'm not saying the young ladies over at Iowa aren't nice with it, but they're not the same as I don't think any of them young ladies in Iowa besides Kane Carr is going to make the WNBA. So she's going to have to learn how to adapt to play with Candace Parker. She's going to learn how to adapt to play with Asia Wilson and so on and so forth. And it's going to be a little bit of a struggle. As I said, give me Juju versus Kaylin. I would love to see that. I would love to see that one-on-one matchup, but I would never root for any women's downfall. But it's going to be a struggle. It's going to be a struggle. I just don't understand why people think it's just going to be so easy for her, just because she could shoot 40 feet from the line. Like it's not going to work like that. So.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I agree. She's gonna have to make the transition because it's a step up in talent and competition.
Right.
But like I said, I do think that she'll be fine. Like, look, I agree. I don't think she's gonna be able to jack up 40 shots a game.
Nah.
No, but that's one of the part of her transition. She's gonna have to learn to, how to take her shots. As the flow of the game goes. You
No,
know what
for
I'm saying?
sure. Yeah, for sure. Like, and it's just like you got women out there fighting for their job. So it's just
Mhm.
not like I said, I'm not saying she's gonna be terrible her whole career, but I think the first couple years it's just gonna be a struggle. It's just gonna take a little bit of adapt, you know what I mean? And then, I'm sure she'll find her groove and she'll be an all-star. But you got women out there fighting for their jobs, man. They ain't just gonna let some shorty out here just straight bucket getter her, man. And them women be feisty as hell on them WNBA courts if you don't be watching. So, but shout out to her, man. She's killing it. She's killing it in the college right now. I'm excited. I think it's kind of crazy though. We're actually in a year where more people know more about the college women players than they do about any men on the men's side. The only person anybody really follows is probably Bronny James. But besides that, you got the Caitlin Clarks, Angela Reese's, and so on and so forth. Juju Watkins. So I'm excited for the college women's basketball tournament in March, man. I'm really excited to see how that plays out.
Yeah, and a lot of that has to do with, most of these kids nowadays, they play in these leagues and, you know what I'm saying,
Mhm.
like elite and all that stuff. So they don't really, play in the real college teams or whatever. And then the overseas factor with all the guys over there playing,
Yeah,
basketball
absolutely.
over
Yeah,
there. So,
yeah. Obviously, the women's basketball doesn't really have the same kind of avenues to get to professional sports as men do. I'm sure all that will change here soon because the women are just getting more and more talented by the year. We just kind of see the growth. I said from the Caitlin Clarks to now you see the likes of Juju Watkins and all that. So, and man, it should be everybody should be excited for the growth of women's basketball. From what it originally was to what it is now. Like it's actually appeasing to the eyes to actually watch now. And it's crazy the times we're living in, man. People, the women's basketball players are more popping than the college men's basketball players at this particular time. So even the
yeah.
ones coming into the league, I don't even know who's even coming into the league for the NBA draft this year. And me, I'm all into basketball, but I have no clue because the original number one pick is the I forgot homie's name from USC. He's like the point guard, but he ain't really playing that good. So who's gonna be the number one pick? Sounds so. I could tell you who's gonna be the number one pick for the WNBA draft next year. I could tell you
Yeah.
that.
Right.
So, shout out to the women's basketball players.
Right. All right, man. Switch to the NBA. Should AD be an NBA All Star? I'm gonna let you start this one off.
So I brought this up because Amir Al Hassan, he used to be on ESPN. He was on his podcast where he was kind of saying why the hell was AD an NBA All Star over the likes of De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis and stuff like that. So I'll pose a question to you. I'll give my answer, but I want to see your thoughts. Like, do you think AD should be an All Star based on where the Lakers are positioned at? Do you think that Darian Fox and Domantas Sabonis should be ahead of them? What do you think?
No, I think, man, we trying to sell. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, look, let me explain something to y'all. This is politics, man. And I mean, I'm sure Sabonis is having a great season, and Darren Fox is having a great season. Don't they play for the Kings?
They play for the Kings, yeah.
The Kings even doing anything this year?
No, they're decent. They're good. They're doing better than the Lakers are doing. That's for sure.
Look, man, we got people want to see their favorite players in these NBA All Stars, and it's not like AD's playing bad. He's actually playing really well this season. You know what I'm
Really good.
saying?
Really good. Yeah, really
He
good.
averages like 20, 25 points a game,
Mm-hmm.
26 points a game.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like he's out here averaging 19 points a game and
No.
he's just getting by, or he's in street clothes like he usually
Mm-hmm.
is, and he's having a down seat. Then I'd be like, all right, now they just being lazy with the voting. But he's actually playing good, up
Yeah.
until these past few games where he had to miss. They've been playing. He's been playing really well. So you want your best players as all stars. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
it is what it is. Now I don't know Sabonis and Darian Fox are reserves, but look, man, we got to have our stars on the All Star game. It's a name thing, you know what I'm saying? And you want to put the kids. They want to see their favorite players.
Yeah.
And grown people, but the kids want to see their favorite player at the All Star game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not to say that Darian Fox and Sabonis they don't want to see them, but they want to see AD more. So
Yeah.
I think he deserves to be in the All Star game.
No,
That's just
obviously wearing the Laker jersey does help a lot.
yeah,
Even if the Lakers aren't really playing up to what we expected them to play this year, overall, AD has been the defensive player of the year. He's if the Lakers were winning more, I think he could potentially be up there for MVP of the year.
yeah,
He's actually been playing. I mean, I think he's only missed like 4 or 5 games. So
right,
compared to what we normally have seen, he's usually missed by about 10 to 15 games by now. So,
right,
I just think the level, like, I don't mind the question as far as with De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis, because I think they're putting up all-star numbers as well. I just think how Amir said it just sounded very disrespectful to me. Like, you acting like AD's having like a shit ass year. Like, boy is out here probably one of the best big men in the league right now. Literally, I think just behind Joel Embiid and Jokic. So I think just it was more so just how he said it that kind of rubbed me the wrong way, more so that I think would rub a lot of people the wrong way, especially like a person like AD, because he's putting up great numbers. But it just goes to show you. I totally agree with you. It's a numbers game. I believe AD had way more votes than I think De'Aaron Fox or Domantas Sabonis had. And then on top of that, it's just you know there's more better guards out there than there are big men. So it's gonna be a little bit
mhm,
harder to get in. Like, you gonna take
mhm,
Steph out, like, you know what I mean? You gonna take Shea out. Like, it's
mhm,
it's it's not you gonna like it's not gonna happen. So we know how tough it is to make it as a guard in the All Star weekend. I'm sure maybe there might be a player that might not be able to make it, and Darian Fox or maybe Sabonis might get in. Who knows? So
yeah,
we'll see. But no slight to any of those guys. It's just
no,
it's
not
just
at
tough,
all.
man. There's a lot of star talent out there. So some people are just gonna get left out. It's just the way it goes.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. All right, man. This is a question that I wanted to pose to you. What's harder to achieve, a Super Bowl or NBA Finals championship?
This one's kind of tough, because I think a lot of people probably say the Super Bowl is tougher just based on it's hard to repeat. But look at Mahomes, man. Mahomes is out here doing it like it's easy. Like, you know what I mean? Tom Brady did it like it was easy. Back in the day, the Cowboys did it, old school Niners did it. So you can't really say that. I would say a couple of years ago that it was tougher to win a Super Bowl, but I'm gonna have to go with the NBA Finals. And only odd reason I go with this, I get it, single elimination to get the Super Bowl is tougher. But in the same sense, I just think the talent pool in the NBA is just so much deeper to me. Like you got the likes of Jokic, Embiid, Bron, AD, Steph, KD, Book, Jason Tatum, and Jalen Brown. You got Trey Young. You got the Knicks popping off with Jalen Brunson and Shea and Anthony Edwards. I could go on and on and on. I think it's just tougher in a sense because I think there are deeper teams now. And you don't know where it's gonna go. Like in the West, like you don't know if the Nuggets gonna get through all the way. They got to go through the likes of the Clippers. We got to see if the Lakers are gonna be able to come back with LeBron. If Bron and them get in the playoffs, you just don't know. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The Clippers are probably the best team in the West currently right now, just the way they're playing. Like we don't know. Minnesota got great young talent. Oklahoma City got great young talent. You can't sleep on KD and Book. You really can't. You know what I mean? In the East, you can't sleep on Giannis. You can't sleep on Dame. You can't sleep on Boston. Obviously, you know, with the whole Embiid thing, that sucks. Knicks are popping off. So I'm gonna go with NBA, man. I know probably a lot of people are probably gonna disagree with me, but you know, I'm gonna ride with the NBA this time.
I'm going to agree with you, sir.
Oh, what? What? Coming from a Chiefs fan, I'm okay, okay,
I'm going
okay.
to agree with you for the very reason you said. The talent pool is more even because it used to be, I would say, probably around 2019. That's when it started getting more even on both sides of East and
Mm-hmm.
West. Before then, it was whatever LeBron James team in the
Yeah,
East, Cleveland or where it was Miami. They go into the they go into the finals. It just depends what team gets hot on the West.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So, and then for a minute there, it was Golden State.
Mm-hmm.
They was getting there.
Mm-hmm.
OKC got there a few times.
Mm-hmm.
So and then lately it's just been, the last few champions have been Toronto. Uh, Golden State, Toronto, Lakers, Milwaukee. Golden State won it again, and then Denver. So it's
Yeah,
been like different champions. Whereas
it
in
has.
in the NFL, the Chiefs have been there more times than not. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? It's just some anomalies. The Cincinnati Bengals have been there, and
Yeah.
uh, the other time it was New England. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So those are the only two teams that got into playing the Super Bowl. So these past few years, it's kind of like you know, barring something crazy happen, the Chiefs have been there, and it's just whoever on the NFC side is playing really good ball at that time.
Yeah.
So I think right now it's harder to win a W or NBA championship because of the talent pool is so even, and you don't know. This is in a while. It's been hard to say, oh, that team's gonna win. Yeah, last year we suspected Denver was gonna get to the finals, but we wouldn't have been surprised if they didn't make it there. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah.
That's how big the talent pool is now, dude.
Yeah.
So
Nah, and just look at the sense of the Miami Heat last year. Like no one
mhm.
expected the Miami Heat to make it
No.
at all, and they
Mm-mm.
went through three grueling 7-game series to get to the NBA Finals. So and even in the NFC, when you look at football, when we talk about just how consistent, like literally, it's only really been the Niners,
Mm-hmm.
the Eagles. Like honestly, low key, the NFC West has been really dominant getting to the Super Bowl. It's really
Yeah.
been the Rams, Niners, Seahawks. If I'm
Mm-hmm.
not mistaken, at least the last 10 years, I think they made it quite a few. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And then you threw in the Eagles in there one time. You might have thrown in the who else made it? No one time. Maybe who else made
Tampa
it?
Bay. Tampa
Tampa
Bay.
Bay, but
Yeah.
that was Brady. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That was
right,
Brady.
right,
So you know what I
right.
mean? So like, what are we talking about? So it's kind of like you see kind of like the flip of the NBA and NFL. Like we're seeing more consistent dynasties and domination on the NFL side to the point where now it's just like, man, people are tired of seeing Mahomes. People are
Yeah,
tired of
yeah,
seeing the Niners. People are tired.
yeah,
We're tired of seeing Brady. We want to
yeah.
we want to see like kind of like just the randomness of of those Super Bowls, but in the same time, the randomness of the Super Bowl, sometimes you get a terrible Super Bowl in there.
Yeah,
You know what I
exactly.
mean? Like so,
I.e. New England Rams.
yeah, you know what I mean? Like no one expected that one when it was come. Like I think people majority expected the Rams to make it. I think the year,
Yeah.
but
They thought
not
it
with
was
the
gonna be
Patriots. No one really
they
expected
wanted
Tom.
Rams and Chiefs that year.
Yeah, but no one expected Tom Brady to make it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So,
yeah.
obviously, I think there's a higher chance of a bad game with NFL games than I do in NBA games at this particular time. As I said, it goes back to just talent. Um, not saying the Super Bowl isn't hard to get to. Obviously, it's definitely tough. Like
Of
both of
course.
them are tough. They're both
Of
tough.
course, you got to
They're
be.
both tough.
Let's be real. Super Bowls. I mean, both sides. You got to have a little luck. You know what I'm saying? At the end of
You
the
do,
day.
absolutely,
But
absolutely.
more
Yeah,
so in football, you definitely got to have luck with injuries.
yeah,
That's the number one thing.
yeah.
If you can get your core guys healthy at the
Right.
right time, clicking, you know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? Then that's hard. That's
yeah.
difficult because there's always a star player that gets hurt, tears ACL, out for the
100%.
season, and so it just like, damn, this
Yeah,
team need help.
like the physical factor of the NFL
Yeah,
obviously outdoes the NBA. It laps
yeah,
them like 4 times. It's not even close. Even with all the rule changes with the NFL, when it seems like the NFL is getting less, I guess physical in a sense, like it still laps around the NBA. It's still not even close. And I'm a big NBA fan.
yeah,
But in the same time, it's like I know a lot of people like to use that, the single elimination games are a lot hotter because it's just the unpredictability. I think going through a 7-game series is tough because now it's just like you literally play the same team for a span of 2 weeks. Like that's
yeah,
mentally daunting. Like it gets to a point where everybody just knows what you're gonna do. You can't trick no one off a 7-game series.
yeah,
Usually the best team usually wins. You know what I mean? In the NFL, you might get one scrub team that's just hot at a random particular time, i.e. the New York Giants. No
mm,
offense, but they were not a good team at all those 2 years that they won. I think they were both 8-8 both years that they got to the Super Bowl and won the championship. So we all can say, the New York Giants were the best team that month. That 6 weeks, they were the best team. But do we all believe they were the best overall team? No, it was the New England Patriots, especially the year that they went 17-1.
17.
So I said, you're gonna have the strong NFL heads that are gonna be like, nah, y'all tripping. But when you really dive into it, man, it's just a little bit harder with the NBA finals. That's all. But no disrespect to any Super Bowl winners.
Yeah, I agree. All right, man. Should the Sixers trade Joel Embiid? I'll let you kick this one off too.
So obviously Joel Embiid, the news is, he had a meniscus. I don't know if it's a full tear. Obviously, we don't know that. We just know he's having meniscus problems. He's supposed to get surgery tomorrow, so they're gonna identify whether or not he'll be out for a month or two, or if it'll be the whole season. I propose this question to you, and obviously I'll answer that. Should the Sixers trade Embiid? I'll guess in a sense of like how many more years of greatness are you going to get from him? His body has already been breaking down since he came into the league. I think this is one of the better years that they could have. Obviously, next year I think will probably be their best year with the overall cap situation that they do have, pieces that they can add to this team. That should they let go of Joel Embiid? Like, are you ever going to get a healthy year of Joel Embiid? What do you think?
Um, well, let's just say, man, he was having a great season, man, and the kid
All
was
time great
average.
season.
He was averaging 35 points a game, man. It was just he seemed like he was putting together. Because my problem with Joel Embiid was always the playoff times. It just felt like, he left a bad taste in my mouth when he didn't play that one. It's probably a couple years ago where he was claiming he was sick. You know what I'm saying? And he just didn't feel like playing because he was sick. And I'm just
Oh
like,
yeah, he had the stomach bug. I remember
yeah.
that. Yeah, I
I'm
remember
just
that.
like,
Yeah,
I'm like, brother, this is it's the playoffs,
yeah.
man. You got to suck it up and go out there and play, man.
Nah, yeah,
The greats do that. You know what I'm saying? Kobe would have never. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
You
Nah,
know what I'm saying?
Jordan,
He would.
even
I don't.
Bron,
Yeah.
even Bron.
Stomach hurting, I don't care. Give me some Pepto Bismol, whatever you got to give me, and I'm going out to play some ball. I'll
No
deal with
doubt.
it after the game.
Mm-hmm.
But that had kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. But since then, he's actually, shown some more heart since then. So
Mm-hmm.
I think he's one of the great players, one of the greatest centers we've seen. You know what I'm saying? We've never seen a talent like Joel Embiid who can do practically everything on the court. He can shoot threes. He can take it on the inside. Um, the kid is very immensely talented. So, but as far as the Sixers go, um, I I guess yeah, I would say trade him because I just think that sometimes a player and a team just hits a ceiling and it just seems like they can't get over that hump. I don't see them like even this year as great of a season as he's had. I still think they're a piece away to compete with the Boston Celtics.
No, they are. They are.
Like
They
I
need
like
another
Ty,
scorer.
I like Maxi. Maxi's a talented kid,
Hmm.
and the sky's the limit for that kid. But I just don't think they have enough to compete with the Boston Celtics of the
Hmm.
world and the New York Knicks, how they're playing right now. I just think that right now you should just cut bait and just add some other players around Maxi. Start building around Maxi. You know what I'm saying? And let him be go wherever you're gonna trade him to. I don't know. You trade him to the Lakers. You trade him to somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Because I imagine they would want to trade him in the East. They'll trade him to the Western team. So
Hmm.
um, yeah, I would see what I can get for. I'm sure you can get a boatload of picks and players for Embiid. Even with this meniscus tear, I think you can still get teams are gonna trade for Embiid
Yeah.
because he's too
Hmm.
talented.
Hmm.
So yeah, I would. If I'm the Sixers, I would because it's getting to a point now where you guys they just hit a ceiling,
Yeah.
and I don't see them going any further with Embiid unless they just get another player in
Hmm.
there. So they would have to get like a Kevin Durant or somebody like that.
Right.
And even the Kevin Durant, I'm starting to think right now, like other than Golden State years, I just think the dude is cursed. Like
Hmm.
wherever he goes, it's like it don't work. Brooklyn, it didn't work. Now the Suns, it's kind of like they're up and down. They play with injuries all the time. So, but if you could just get another player if you get another player with the Sixers and keep Maxi and Embiid, I think they have a chance to compete with the Boston's. But as it's constructed, I don't. I know.
Yeah, I know a lot of people when they probably see this, they're probably gonna think like, "Yo, this is a crazy ass question. Like, why in the hell would you trade? Why the hell would the Sixers trade Joel Embiid?" I only bring this up in the sense of like, is he has been consistently either hurt or he's definitely not been 100% going into the playoffs. Like, during the regular season, you're going to get a great Joel Embiid. Like,
Right.
he's immensely talented. He's probably one of the best all around centers I've ever seen play this game. I would take him. I would take a healthy Joel Embiid over Nikola Jokic. I would. And Nikola Jokic is nice, but he's not the defensive player that Joel Embiid is. Joel Embiid could be a dominant defensive player, the likes of like a Dikembe Mutombo with the shot, with the move set of a Hakeem Olajuwon. Like, it's
Mm-hmm.
crazy. So, um, if I was the Sixers, I would consider it in the sense of like, it's just when are we ever going to get a healthy Joel Embiid for a full year? And he's getting older by the year. You know what I mean? So if he can't be healthy these early years in his career, what makes you think that it's going to happen in his older careers? And it's not like a wrist injury, a hand injury. No, these are like foot injuries, knee injuries. These are all lower body extremities, especially with big
Mm-hmm.
men that can literally kill your career. So I would consider it. I don't think it would happen. I don't think it would happen this year. But let's say the Sixers go all in next year and Joel Embiid starts off great, but then when it comes to postseason, he has another injury to another lower extremity. God forbid, I don't want to see that happen. I want to see him have a great year. I want to see him be fully healthy. Like, I'm a big Joel Embiid fan. But that's something you really have to take into light. And obviously you would want to trade him. If you have to trade him, you would want to trade him at his peak value in a sense. So I would consider it, especially not maybe not this year. We got to see what they're going to do with the. I think the trade deadline will say a lot whether Joel Embiid is going to be able to come back this year or not. I think if the Sixers make a trade where they can just kind of like stand pat, like maybe get a big man or maybe another scorer to help Tyrese Maxey, where they can stay amongst like the top four, top five seeds in the East, and wait until Joel Embiid come back healthy, then if they can do that, then I think Joel Embiid will come back towards the end of the year. I could see him maybe come back maybe towards like end of March, beginning of April, maybe rev himself up a little bit to get into playoff shape. And if that happens, they got a shot. You know what I mean? Because then finally Joel Embiid will go into the playoffs healthy. He would have sat out for 2 months. You know what I mean? Even though he will come in a little bit like I guess coming off the injury, so he'd be a little rusty at the time. But overall, I'll take a rusty, healthy Joel Embiid than a hurt, productive Joel Embiid at this point.
Mm,
But if he loses this whole year, they go into next year, he comes back healthy, and then he gets hurt again, kind of like in the same fashion, I think you got to start considering it. You know what I mean? I really do. I really do. Because it's gonna become a moment in time where it's just like, man, like you're gonna start asking, are we ever gonna get a full healthy season of Joel Embiid? And if we can't, you got to start considering. There's options, there's trades. You know, you got some big men coming up, and not this year, but next year's draft that could potentially be big time for you guys, for anybody. You know what I mean? So there's talent coming out next year. You know, they got to consider it. If I will wait till next year, but they got to consider it.
yeah, I agree. Yeah, they definitely got to consider it because, like I said, mine's is more so even with him being healthy, they've hit this ceiling like, and they can never get over the hump.
Well, like even with this year, bro, I would say this. Not to keep going on, but I would say this. I think they were one score away. If they could have got a DeMar DeRozan, if they could have got like maybe like a Bruce Bowen to help out, you know, like one of them players that can spot you like, you know, they average like 18, but sometimes they can get you 25. Like I've seen Bruce Brown do that a couple times. DeMar DeRozan can definitely do that. If you could get somebody like that, I think that would have helped them a lot. I think that would have pushed them to the point where I think they definitely could compete with the Celtics. I think they could compete with the Celtics now because there are some holes in the Celtics. I believe that can't get exposed. Like, is Kristaps Porzingis going to stay healthy? Can Kristaps Porzingis? They need Kristaps Porzingis to perform in the playoffs. I have not seen Kristaps Porzingis perform in the playoffs at all. We do not know what we're going to get from KP. We do not know if he can even stay healthy at this point. I've seen Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown fold in the playoffs time and time and time again. I have seen it. You know what I mean? So, and then on top of that, do you trust the Celtics coaching? Like now you got the Knicks coming up, but you got the Julius Randle injury, you got the OG Anunoby injury. I think they are truly one piece away. I'm loving what Jalen Brunson is doing. He's definitely being MVP talks. Miami Heat, they have not performed well ever since the Terry Rozier trade. Obviously, a lot of people are saying like, yo, you know, they're more of a playoff team, which they are. But at the same sense, they need to show some kind of consistency of them, you know, being able to establish something amongst Terry Rozier. Right now, they don't really look really good right now. So, there are chances for the Sixers to be able to make it, but with these Joel Embiid injuries, man, it's just, you know, it seems like they take one step forward and three steps back sometimes with this team. So it sucks because it seems like we're never going to see the true potentials of this team if Joel Embiid can never stay healthy, and it sucks.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I agree. All right, man. Let's switch back to the NFL.
Yeah,
There's been a lot of coaching hires in the off season.
yeah,
And some of them are great, some of them are good, some of them are meh.
mm-hmm.
So we're gonna give our top is 8 coaches that got hired. So we'll give our top 8 hires. So I'll let you go first with your
Okay.
list.
I'll go first. So I'm gonna start with number one. I think Jim Harbaugh is the easy answer for number one. I think, you know, he's been the most solidified coach in college and pro. You know, when he was in pro, he was killing it with the Niners and stuff like that. So we know the Chargers are eventually going to be great. We don't know if they're going to be great off the bat, but with Justin Herbert, I think it's a perfect match made in heaven. I really love the Mike McDonald hire to the Seahawks. I think that's going to be. I think he fits perfect with that whole team. I think he fits with the identity of that team. To me, he can be maybe like. He won't be maybe as like, you know how Pete was more of a charismatic guy. But I think more mindset, like football mind wise, I think he reminds me a little bit of Pete Carroll. You know what I mean? Especially like the way the defense is playing, like them old school, you know, Legion of Boom days, stuff like that. You know what I mean? So, and I think low key, I think the Seahawks talent wise, I think they got better talent than what the Ravens did. Honestly, low key, you know what I mean? With some of that young talent coming aboard. So I like that. Number 3, I went with Brian Callahan. I think he did a lot of great things with the Bengals. Offensively, even when Joe Burrow was out, you know, they were still pretty much killing with Jake Browning. So I like that hire. Obviously, we don't know what he's gonna be like as a head coach, as an offensive coordinator. He was amazing. So, but I'm gonna give him. I like that. I like that. Four, I went with Antonio Pierce. Obviously, he doesn't really have the experience in a sense, but from what I've seen in especially what happened last year, I was really pleased by what I saw. Man, obviously there are some things that have recently happened that have not really made me too happy. If you follow me on Twitter, I'm pretty sure you've seen the last 24 to 48 hours. But I'm still riding with my guy AP. I got that. Number five, I kind of went with Dan Quinn, only in the sense is like I've seen him make the Super Bowl. Like I know a lot of people aren't really, they're like whatever with it, but with me, I'm like, I've seen him make the Super Bowl with the Atlanta Falcons. You know what I mean? Like, can he do it again with the Commanders? We'll see. But I'm kind of like in with it, but I gave it to him like that. Number six, I went with Dave Cannells. Dave Cannells, like, you know what I mean? Like, he did pretty good with Baker Mayfield. So the only thing with him is just that whole Carolina Panthers situation is just kind of ugly right now. But I think he might be able to get a better Bryce Young than we saw last year. And then number seven, I went with Raheem Morris. I think he's good, but at the same time, like, I don't know. I really don't know. And then number eight, I went with Gerard Merrill because honestly, no disrespect to that brother, I'm not really a fan of any Bill Belichick coaches. I got to see it to believe it with that shit. So that's my topic.
All right. So number one, I got Jim Harbaugh. Two, we what's understood don't need to be said about Jim Harbaugh. He's a great coach.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, I went with Raheem Morris because I think he fits the Atlanta, the whole swag of Atlanta. He's been there before. He was the interim coach when Dan Quinn got fired, so he knows how that locker room and that whole organization run. So I think it's a good hire. He's a good DC. You know what I'm saying? Good defense. And he's been a head coach before with Tampa Bay. So
He
he
didn't
was
really do
too.
so good there.
He did good in the beginning, but then he was young. You know what I'm saying? I think he's learned from those years, so
Okay.
I think he'll be fine. Number three, I got your coach Antonio Pierce. I think that the swag of the Raiders came back once he took over. I know you're not happy with some of the hires that he's hired, people to hire, but at the end of the day, they have the identity of Antonio Pierce. He's bringing a swagger and a toughness to this team that I haven't seen in a while. So
Mm-hmm.
he's bringing that Raider essence to the team. So I like to hire. Number four, I got Mike McDonald. He had a great defense this year, the number one defense with the Ravens. Um, but let's see how this Seahawks defense don't have some of the defensive linemen that he got over there with the Ravens. So let's see, and linebackers. So let's see if he can put together. Maybe he'll get some of them guys. Patrick Queen might be a candidate to go to Seattle. Maybe the MBK kid, if he doesn't re-sign with the Ravens, maybe you can get him to come over. And if you get those two pieces, then you have two people that know your system. You'll be fine. So, and in the draft, of course. Um, Number five, I got Brian Callahan. Of course, we've all know Cincinnati's offense when Joe Burrow's, even with Jake Brown in, it was still pretty good. We know when Joe Burrow's in there, that offense, those receivers. The only thing is they don't have the same type of receivers in Tennessee. So we'll see. You know what I'm saying? He's got to get some more talent over there. He's probably going to lose Derrick Henry. So he's going to have to rebuild that off. And you got Will Levis. If he could take Will Levis and make him a solid quarterback or, even better, then, that'll be a great hire. Number six, I went with Dan Quinn. Yes, he's been to a Super Bowl, but a lot of people say that was more so Kyle Shanahan than it was Dan Quinn. But we'll see him and what's his name, Cliff Kingsbury. We'll see how that works out. Um, yeah, you'll see. And his defenses with Dallas, if they weren't getting scooping scores and interceptions, they could be had. So we'll see. And number seven, I got Gerard Mayo. Look, I know it's the Patriots and I know his Belichick's coaching staff, but he's a different voice in the room. The defense was still good last year. It was just that offense was so terrible. So he has something to build with on the defensive side. Let's see what quarterback he rolls with. If he drafts one, he gets a veteran, whatever in there. But I like it. And then as far I got Dave Cannell last. I know he did some good job with Baker Mayfield. He also did some good work, Geno Smith in Seattle. But it's Carolina. And Dave Tepper, he's gonna find a way to fuck this up. I know he is. He's gonna find a way to mess this up because he's gonna be too hands on. He thinks he's Jerry Jones, and he's not. And yeah, he's gonna mess this up somehow, some way. And they don't have a first round pick, so yeah, there's that too.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll revisit this in a couple years.
Fine.
See how it goes.
All right, man. This is a question that you pose. Who is the greatest current champion right now? I'm gonna go ahead and let you lay this one up.
Greatest current champion right now. Hell, at this point, Roman Reigns, dog.
Hey, you might be right. Hey, you might be
At this
right.
point, it might be Roman Reigns, boy, because boy hasn't
Hey,
lost in over 1,300 days or some shit like
yeah,
that.
yeah, you might be right. I ain't even think of Roman Reigns like that.
Okay, man, that motherfucker ain't never gonna lose. As far as like in a real sport, greatest champion right now. I would say if obviously if Mahomes wins it, I think it's probably Mahomes. But in reality, I low key think it's Roman Reigns. If we're gonna put everything in count, it's Roman
Hey, I'm
Reigns,
not
dog.
mad at that actually. I'm not mad at Roman
Roman
Reigns.
Reigns,
I
dog.
put down. I put Patrick Mahomes because of how many times he's been to the AFC Championship.
Yeah,
The consistency. But when you just said that, I was like, you know what? It might be Roman. I know it's scripted and it's wrestling, but them dudes still put their bodies out there
they
on the
do, they
line.
do, they do.
Everybody can't do what they do. So it's
Nah,
like
yeah.
you might be right. It might be Roman Reigns, man.
Look, man, hey,
It
like
might
because when I
be.
went down to it in the NBA, you're not really gonna say Jokic. You're not. I know I was hearing some about like that Verstappen dude, the guy from F1. I know he's really been killing it. I don't watch F1, but from the stuff I hear, I heard he's really dominant. So obviously he has to be up there. Um, hey man, you know what, man? What's his name? The hot dog eater. He killing it too, dog. What's his name? Kenny Chestnut or whatever his name is. I think he got to be top 5 of greatest champions right now as well, man. This motherfucker been eating hot dogs since. Well, you've been winning like 20 years in a row now, right? Like it's like, look, man, like, look, I know it's hot dog eating, but to be a champion 20 years in a row in anything is crazy.
That's crazy.
It's crazy, dog. So I think he has to be up there. Hockey, can't really do anything hockey wise. Bowling, nah, not really since like my man Pete Weber days. Like, really ain't done nothing. I was thinking about the trainer for the Kentucky Derby. I think he's won a lot recently. I don't know the guy's name, the Baffert dude or something. I think he got banned this last year or something. I thought about him. But when it came down to it, I was like, man, if we're gonna just talk about like anybody in boxing, I guess maybe you could probably say Canelo, maybe.
Yeah, but even him
But
still is
even him, it's like, maybe like you can't. I'm a big Terrence Crawford fan. You can't really say Terrence Crawford. Say Tank.
Yeah.
And I just
UFC? Anybody in UFC?
not really, man. Maybe Izzy, but he's not really a champion right now, so you can't really say him. I was obviously like Nemega Khabib is not really there. Well, I guess you could say John Jones. John Jones is probably up there in a sense, but he hasn't really fought lately.
Yeah.
But I think he's up there in the sense of like greatest champions. He's one of the greatest UFC fighters of all time.
Yeah.
But just with consistency, staying relevant and all that, I was like, look, it has to be Roman Reigns, dog.
It does.
It
You're
has
right.
to be Roman Reigns,
No.
bro. Like,
When you
obviously the
just said-
ending. I don't even watch wrestling like that, and you know it. But
Yeah.
like, bro, you've been champ for 1,300 days is nuts. I ain't never seen anything like that. Like, maybe not since like Goldberg days when he had this winning streak when he was like 180 and nothing or some shit like that. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I'm gonna go with Roman Reigns, man. That's my final answer, and I'm gonna stick to it.
Yeah. You're right. If Mahomes win this Super
If it's
Bowl,
Mahomes, if Mahomes wins it, then I'll go with Mahomes. But right now, I'm gonna currently
right
say
now, yeah, you know what? You're right. It's Roman Reigns. When you said it, I was about to say Roman. Wait, You're right. He is a champion.
He's a
I
champion,
know it's
dog.
scripted, but still,
Yeah.
for somebody to be champion that long, and before all the Vince allegations and all that, for Vince to be like, "Nah, you gonna stay champion this long?"
But I think that says something too, though. Like because I ain't never seen this even when I was really watching wrestling. Like I think maybe the longest run might have been maybe Triple H at the time. I think it was
Yeah,
either Triple H or maybe The Rock. One of them two. Like because I feel
easy.
like Stone Cold got screwed like every fucking time. Like low key, like he would get champion, then he would get screwed low key. I don't think he kept it longer than like 2 pay-per-views. I think sometimes, but yeah, even then, I haven't seen anything like Roman Reigns. So for them to even be like, "Yo, we want you to be champion for how many years is that? Like 1,300 days? How many years is that? Like 4 years? 5 years?
Yeah, 4 years.
4 years? We want you to be champion for 4 years straight with the amount of like because they can bring anybody back. Like John Cena's came back, The Rocks came back. Obviously
Yeah,
they don't want them to be champion because they're older, but you've had some young talented guys. Like obviously you tell me
he's
about
beat.
Cody Rhodes.
He's beat all the top tier
Yeah,
guys
you
besides
had
the
the
Rock.
likes of Cody Rhodes,
He's
you have
about to
Bray,
face the Rock at
yeah,
WrestleMania. So,
the Bray Wyatts, God rest in peace.
mm,
All them kind of
mm,
guys, man, they came through and they're like, no, we're gonna stick with you as champion. I think that says something. I really do. No matter if it's scripted, that says something. Roman Reigns is gonna be in wrestling history books forever because of
yeah.
this shit.
And the crazy part, not to cut you on, the crazy part with Roman Reigns is that like they tried to like shove him down our throats
Yeah,
for years before he had turned heel. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? We have been calling him to turn heel because Vince has this thing with these baby faces. He makes them too cookie cutter. You know what I'm
mm-hmm,
saying? And
mm-hmm,
they just didn't like him. You know what I'm saying? The fan
mm-hmm.
base wasn't feeling him. He just felt like he was manufactured. But once he turned heel and he got to be himself, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? That's when it was just like, all right, we can roll with this. Now people don't. They want him to lose the belt because they're tired of seeing him being champion. They want somebody else to be the
Nah, no
champion.
doubt, yeah.
But for him to get this run, it's crazy. It
And
is
do
crazy.
you think we'll ever see this again?
No, no. Unless somebody just comes along and just has that impact like he has.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't see another champion like Roman Reigns because Roman Reigns is up there with the likes of The Rock. He's up there with the likes of Stone Cold. You know what I'm saying? Like in this era, he is that iconic. You know what I'm saying? And he shows it. Especially now that he's being himself. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Not the manufactured Roman Reigns that everybody wanted, that Vince wanted him to be. But ever since he's turned heel, partnered with Paul Heyman, yeah, this dude is in a different space. He's up there with the John Cena's. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm
um,
glad. I'm glad I surprised you with that pick. I'm glad
I
I
did.
surprised
You did. Because you don't watch wrestling like that. So I was
you.
like, you know what I'm saying? It came out of nowhere.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You hit me with a sucker punch, man.
I did. And you agreed with me too. I was like, oh
Yeah.
shit.
Because I thought about it, I was like, yeah, you might be right. This man been champion for 13 days. Damn.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
So, and they try to get him to beat Hulk Hogan's record, which,
Mm-hmm.
he doesn't. I don't think Hulk Hogan's only like, I think he's like fourth on the list. It's not like he's
Yeah.
like number one. Number one is Bruno San Martino, but
Mm-hmm.
and that dude, his reign, I think his reign was forever. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
so, we'll see, man. Shout out to Cody Rhodes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right, man. Let's rank the players in this Super Bowl. We did this, in the I think it was the divisional round. Or
Yeah, I think we did the original round.
yeah, we did the divisional round. So we're gonna do the Super Bowl. Who we pick? Our top. I put top 10 players. You know what I'm
Yeah, I did
saying?
top 10. Go ahead. You go first this time.
So number one, I got Patrick Mahomes. Uh, number two, I got CMC. Number three, I got Travis Kelsey. Number four, I got Trent Williams. Number five, I got Nick Bosa. Number six, I got Chris Jones. Number seven, I got Debo Samuels. Number eight, I got Fred Warner. Number nine, I got Legarius Sneed. And number 10, I got Shavarius Ward.
Okay. Our first two are pretty much similar. I got Patrick Mahomes number one. I got CMC number two. I got Trent Williams number three. I think he's one of the best O linemen. I got Nick Bosa four. I got Travis Kelsey 5. Fred Warner, I got 6. Chris Jones, I got 7. Debo, I have 8. Kittle, I have 9. 10 was the toughest for me. I think it's low key a tie between Drake Greenlaw and L'Jarius Sneed.
Mhm.
Um, but I went with Greenlaw just in the sense of like I get Sneed is playing fucking out of his mind. Like he's been the best defender on your team. But it's even. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's really even. I did like 10A Dre Greenlaw, 10B L'Jarius Sneed. You could go either way, like, but
Yeah.
I think it's a solid side between those
I
guys.
actually forgot about Kittle. I'll probably put Kittle 9 and put
Mm-hmm.
the Jerry Sneed 10.
Yep.
Yeah. Because I forgot about Kittle.
No, it's a lot of talent. Like only reason why I had Travis Kelsey 5 is like yeah, he's been hot the last couple games, but he does tend to slow off in the second half. He is getting older,
No, I
so
hear you.
so that's the only reason why I have 5. If it was like young Travis Kelsey, I think he would easily be top 3.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I hear you. Yeah. Because I go by, CMC's the best running back in the league. Patrick Mahomes the best quarterback. Trent Williams is the best tackle in the league. I actually have Nick Bosa as the best defensive end in the
He
league.
is, yeah. That's what I
When
have
he's
him
healthy,
for.
I think he's better.
He's
TJ
a big
Watt
impact guy.
TJ Watt can make a case, but
Mhm.
Nick Bosa, I think he's better.
Yeah, I was struggling. I kind of wanted to put Nick Bolton in there too. I think Nick Bolton
Yeah.
has been playing really well. I think Trent McDuffie has been playing really well. I just think Snead has
Yeah.
outshined McDuffie, which was kind of
Yeah.
crazy because in the beginning of the year I thought McDuffie was the better out of the two. But as the season went on, you just kind of see the separation between Snead and McDuffie. I thought McDuffie would be the main one, kind of guarding the top receivers, but it's been Snead, and he's been killing it all year, honestly. So
Yeah.
it's been kind of tough, man. But obviously it's deep. There was a thing on the storylines because I wrote down like kind of my top 5 storylines
Go
too.
ahead. Go ahead.
But there was one where I asked where does CMC rank amongst R&Bs if he gets a Super Bowl win and a Super Bowl MVP?
He would. I could argue that he's top 10 of all time. I don't know if top 5, but top 10
Yeah, yeah.
definitely top 10
Okay.
because there's been a lot of great.
Yeah. No, I just
that
wrote
come
that
through the
wrote that
crack.
down as a storyline because if he does have a great game, goes over like 100 plus yards, gets a TD2, wins the MVP. Like I was kind of curious, like where would he be ranked at as amongst the greatest running backs? I think obviously you have to put him up there with the consistency he has shown. Like
Yeah.
he's been in the league for how long? What, 7-8 years now?
Yeah. Yeah. Um, he would definitely be in the top 10.
Because he's been the running back. He's been the best running back ever since he got into the league. Low key, kind of.
I think a few of those years Derrick Henry was the best.
Well, that was only because he got hurt. If he didn't get hurt, then I think CMC was clearly the best running back.
Yeah.
Obviously, that does affect his standing as far as history, but
because there's been some great running backs, man.
No, there have been.
You got the Walter Paytons. I mean, I know we weren't around for Jim Brown. So, I mean, but, you seen the tape of Jim Brown. Like, I think Jim Brown could play his era.
But some days, some days, sorry to cut you off, but some days I'm like, I feel like Christian McCaffrey has gotten better as he gotten older. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's staying healthier. You know what I mean? He's still running the ball with the same amount of volume that he's been getting, even with the Panthers. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Maybe the Niners just have a better medical staff than the Niners do, or the Panthers do, because because ain't it kind of weird though when you see certain teams medically, like they just get shit right. Like the players seem like they come back faster. Seems like they stay healthier. But then you got certain teams where it's just like, why does people always get hurt with the same franchise? Like, you know what I mean? You ever thought about stuff like that? Yeah, Chargers, like Cowboys,
do a study on that.
Panthers, like why is that? Like even with basketball, it's like the Lakers, like they stay getting hurt. Clippers, they stay getting hurt. You know what I mean? But look, like you got the likes of like San Antonio for the most part, they pretty much stay healthy. Oklahoma City Thunder, they pretty much stay healthy. The Bucks, they pretty much stay healthy. You know what I mean? Like the Sixers, they stay hurt. Like Embiid stays hurt. Like, what if he went to another franchise that's just medically better, and
Mm.
they find some way to just keep him
Keep them
healthy? Like,
healthy.
why is that? Like, why is
I
that?
don't
Is it
know.
like I think people really need to start really looking to like maybe we got to start upgrading our maybe instead of like the coach being fired, maybe we need to start looking in these medical staffs and like maybe we need to find a better doctor to get our players more healthier. Like if I'm the Sixers, why are we going through another Joel Embiid injured knee? Like he must
Man,
have had like I get it during the season, like you know what I mean, shit's just happened, but like there must be a better way to keep players healthy because like it just makes no sense. It makes no sense to me.
some guys are just fragile though, man. Some guys
But
just
I've seen fragile players go from one team to the next, and then all of a sudden they just stay healthy all the time. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like I've seen that before.
Because in football, it's kind of it's like take the Chargers for
Right,
instance.
right, right.
It's not always a major injury with them. It's like Keenan Allen. He always has a hamstring problem. Like,
Oh yeah, yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So it's not like, oh, he tears his ACL. It's just like he can't stay in the lineup because his hamstrings suck.
Right, right,
You know what I'm saying? So it's
right.
kind of like, what do you do? How can you blame the medical staff for that? Because a hamstring is just one of the more difficult injuries to treat. Hamstring is just time. Like you got to sit.
I get it, but it's just like bro, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I think it's a study that needs to just be looked
Yeah,
at in a sense.
yeah.
Like that's all.
No, I agree. All right, man. Flowers of the week. What do you got?
So flowers of the week. I got a simple two. One goes to Killer Mike. Congratulations on winning Rap Album of the Year. Well deserved. I don't know why people are hating on him winning and Rap Album Year. I've seen people post how many spins like his album got compared to like Drake's and Travis Scott. Obviously, Drake and Travis Scott are always gonna have more views, more spins on their
We're
albums.
talking
Just they
about
just
the
got bigger fan
quality
bases.
of the
But
music,
Killer Mike's album
people.
was just more quality. Like the Utopia album was pretty good, but it kind of got thrown by the wayside real quick. Her Loss, I really like the album. I know you were kind of like indifferent about it, but it went to the wayside, especially with the amount of volume that Drake has been releasing his albums. I'm surprised his last album wasn't put on here instead of Her Loss, but shout out to Killer Mike, man. He was well deserved. I don't understand the whole thing with him getting arrested last night, but hopefully everything's all right with that. And then number two, I went with Mark Andrews. You know, he saved a woman's life on an airplane flight, I think last week. So not only is he a future Hall of Famer, he's a lifesaver, man. So we got to shout out to Mark Andrews for being able to save a lady's life on an air flight.
Right on, right on. My flowers go to Jay-Z for his speech yesterday at the Grammys. You could tell he's been holding that in for a long
Oh yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah. He had to show love to his wife too, man. I
yeah,
saw
so
that, which
but
he made sense.
he also showed love to DMX, and I was
Yeah.
nominated for a rap album, but DMX in 2 year span, what I'm saying, in a 1 year span, I should say, put out two albums that went number one, and he wasn't even nominated. So, and that's always been the problem with Grammys, especially with black culture music. You know what I'm saying? They never get it right. They
No, they
never,
don't.
they,
They don't.
and for Beyonce to have the most Grammys, 32 Grammys, and never have an album of the year, that is something wrong with your system. It is. It is something wrong with your system. Hey, shout out to Taylor Swift. We understand the Swifties is in the building. No disrespect on that. But there should be no reason why Beyonce shouldn't have at least one to two albums of the year.
And another thing Kanye was right about.
Yeah, he was right.
It's a state of fact.
He
He made it
was
went
right.
about it the wrong way, but his
Yeah, he was
message
right.
was the correct message.
And my other flowers go to the Royals. Kansas City Royals have not been good since 2015, since we won the World Series. They finally today signed their franchise player Bobby Witt Jr. for 11 years, 288 million. So shout out to him, man. He
Oh,
did
got
well
the
deserved.
bag.
Yeah,
That's
he's
what's
well
up.
deserved of it, and it shows that they are committed to making this team better. And this should help on the voting polls in April when they try to, get everybody to vote for the Royals to get a new stadium downtown. So this is showing that they are committed to getting better and being at least a playoff team. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So shout out to Bobby Witt Jr. and shout out to the Royals for making that happen. So,
Yeah, shout out to him for getting that bag for sure.
and that's what my next thing. Kids play baseball. All right, who does your hell no go to?
Hell no, I got another double pack. Quick, passive aggressive Braun. I gotta give a hell no to passive aggressive Braun. This happens every year around the same time. He starts doing all these passive aggressive things. I'm burnt out of it. So I gotta give him a hell no. It's just something we should. It should be like a holiday at this point where passive aggressive Braun comes. You know what I mean? And number two, I'm gonna give mine to Pat Mahomes Senior, getting another DUI again for the third time. Like, brother, like, what are we doing? Especially when one of your son's biggest weeks heading in. So now he's gonna get questioned about you getting a
Yeah,
DUI again,
yeah,
which
yeah.
should never be condoned. This is the third time. I think he has a chance to get 2 to 8 years in prison now. So, we definitely don't condone drinking and driving, man. You know what I mean? I like him. I like him as a father, but overall, man, it's another dumb decision that your son has to answer all week about. So,
Hmm.
he gets my second hell no of the week.
I'm not mad at that. Not mad at that at all. Uh, my hell no goes to Killer Mike getting arrested at the Grammys.
Mm,
Y'all couldn't
mhm.
wait till my man get out. You
Nah,
couldn't wait till
facts.
he leave. Like he just won 3 awards. Like you gotta embarrass him.
You saw the
Like
Stephen A.
oh,
Smith thing where we talked about like how does he get arrested, but Will Smith just gets to enjoy the rest of watch the show after he literally assaulted somebody on national TV.
exactly.
It's
That's
crazy.
what are we doing here? Like, come on now. I don't know the altercation. They said he got into a physical altercation with somebody, but you couldn't wait. Like you couldn't
Nah,
just
facts.
let him go outside,
Or
gather
just
himself.
or just escort him out. Like you don't even have to
Yeah,
arrest him. Just be like, all right, man, you got your award. Just go ahead and just we'll escort everybody who had the issue out. But arresting him was
yeah.
wild.
That gets a hell no.
Hmm.
And what was the other? Oh, damn, I forgot. Yeah, I forgot. Never
Damn,
mind.
dog, you fumbled the bag.
Yeah, I forgot. I forgot my other hell no. Watch it comes to me right after we get off the show.
Probably. It always happens. There'll be so many times like I literally like be like, damn, I forgot to say that. You know what I mean? On the show, you know? Yeah,
Hmm.
I think it happens to the best.
All right, man.
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on, boy. Bye. You get your goddamn ugly ass on.
Yeah. So all the people out there, if you're lacking in energy, you know what you can get you.
Glitch, which Chris needs right now because he forgot everything. He needs glitch. Glitch, we mess with you, man. Send my man some use the code, brother. Use the code. But anyways, Glitch Energy Drink
Take some
offers
Maui punch.
you know what I mean? Glitz Energy Drink offers a wide range of delicious flavors to suit everyone's taste preferences, whether you're into fruity flavors like Maui Punch and Cherry Bomb, or prefer something unique like Blue Smurf and Grenades, which Chris needs. There's something for everyone. Glitch Energy Drink is not only great for gamers and workout warriors, but also for everyday people who simply need a boost of energy. It's a healthy choice that you can feel good about. You can find more information and purchase Glitch Energy Drink at glitchenergy.com. Again, that's glitchenergy.com. Remember to use the promo code Cris Style and Mal to get 10% off your purchase and to start enjoying these great, delicious drinks, man. So use the promo code, save some bread. It's always good to save some money.
Yeah, man. That's what we doing for y'all. We saving y'all some money.
Yeah.
Where All right, whatever streaming platform you use to listen to your podcast, the Cris Style and Mal podcast is available on there, whether it be Spotify, Apple, Google, Amazon, iHeartRadio, whatever platform that you use to listen to your podcast, the Cris Style and Mal podcast is on there. Also, if you're a first time watcher on YouTube, hit that notification button, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, but hit that notification button so when we drop our lives on Mondays at 12 p.m. Central or East Pacific Standard Time and Wednesdays 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can join into the lives, jump in the comment section, talk about the topics with us. We want our people to come in and interact with us. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead and jump in the comment section if you feel something, you disagree with one of our takes, hit us up in the comment section. But yeah, go and do that. And whatever social media platform you use, whether it be Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitch, and Threads, whatever you use, Follow us at Cris Style and Mal. We'll follow you back. Hit us up, man. Give us critiques, feedback, topics, questions, whatever you want us to talk about, whether relating to sports, music, anything going on in the world. Hit us up, man. We you know what I'm saying, we'll even give you a shout out if we like the question, the topic that you bring up. So go ahead and hit us up, man, and we'll talk about it, man. So we want, like I said, we want the fan base or the people that listen to our podcast to join in on the interaction with us and the topics with us. So,
Mhm.
all right, until Wednesday, y'all, when we do our Super Bowl official picks and Ebony and Show, hopefully they'll be there. Until
Hopefully.
then, we out.